Hey guys, it's Andrew here from MAO Magic, and I'm going to show you guys the new Apple TV 3rd generation. So we're going to go ahead and open it up here. So literally there's nothing else in the box, there's no packing stuff, anything like that, just your Apple TV if you did order it online from Apple, pre-order it last week when it was announced, or a week and a half ago I guess. So essentially here, if we compare it to, say, like the old 2nd generation, there's not really a difference. The back has a new design showing the new features and user interface. Other than that, these things are identical. You really can't tell them apart at all. And the similarities aren't just in the boxes. The actual Apple TVs are identical as well, at least on the outside. The inside, the new one does have the new A5 processor, which is similar to the one in the iPhone 4 and 4S, I believe, or iPhone 4S, not the iPhone 4. But it's a single core, so it's a specific one just for like the Apple TV. And that's going to allow it to actually do 1080p compared to the last generation, which topped out at 720p. Okay, so we can look at the ports on this if you haven't seen them. Basically, you have the proprietary power thing on the left-hand side, which does not require a special block. It has a USB port for support, a full-size HDMI, optical audio, and a 10100 base Ethernet port. So, remote. This is the same remote as the last generation. It's a solid block of aluminum. You have a little watch battery spot on the back. You can open with a coin. It's got a 5-button wheel on the top, a menu button slightly recessed, a smooth over play and pause button, and your wheel on the top. This does not actually work like an iPod where you can like scroll around, which I was really hoping for when I first saw it, but no, it does not do that. It's pretty standard remote. It looks really nice, I gotta say, but quality-wise, I mean, it gets annoying when you're scrolling through things or having to type things is atrocious. I actually use a Logitech 1100 Harmony 1100 remote, but again, you can't do any typing on it, so it's pretty much the same problems you have with the other one, except for the fact it's a universal remote. If you haven't seen these, I really like it. I don't know why I use it compared to not using my iPad, but okay, so let's go ahead and hook this thing up. Here's our old one, which obviously looks suspiciously like the new one, but when they look that good, why do you have to change them? So anyway, I got 3 things in the back. I got my Ethernet, I have my HDMI, and I have my power cord. We're going to use the same one as the other one. I could use wireless, but I'm right next to my router, so why not just plug it in, even though I do wish it did have faster Ethernet, like gigabit Ethernet, but it's not a big thing when you're just streaming it that fast anyway. It has enough buffer that it's not going to matter. Okay, so when you first turn it on, you get your language screen. If you don't pick it right away, creepy voice comes on and says, do you need voiceover? So select English or whatever language you're going to need. It's going to quickly come up, activate. Okay, you can accept their privacy policy, whether you want to share information with them or not, like that, and you're pretty much set up. You're done. There's your Apple TV. So this is the new user interface, which is version 5, which will also be sent back to the old version. So you have your movies on the left and your TV shows, which you can also access your purchased from. You have your music, which is iTunes Match, so you don't actually need to be hooked up to your computer for any of your music, movies, or TV shows that you purchased anymore, which is kind of cool. These are all the apps that include, MLB, trailers, podcasts, NHL, Flickr, Legacy, mobile me support, anything like that. All these are built in. Hopefully more are coming along the line. They do keep adding them. We go to home sharing. This is streaming from your computer. So we're going to go ahead and, I enter my username. And I want to show you this too. If you hover and hold down on one of the letters, it brings up that secondary interface. Like here, I can do a capital P. And you can do other letters, and you can also delete. So if you miss one up, you don't have to go to the bottom, hit delete. So hopefully you at least get that out of my video if you don't get anything else. So you go through all that, and here's my library. Here's my music, movies, TV shows, and you can just play whatever straight from your library. So it's also worth mentioning here, the quality. iTunes now does 1080p for any of the high-def formats instead of 720. You can choose what you download on your computer, and you can choose it on your Apple TV as well. The quality is really nice. It's not quite to Blu-ray. It's just below, but the compression stuff that it does it's really remarkable how small these file sizes can actually be compared to a full Blu-ray. They still work, remarkably well. So quality-wise, it's great. I've had a little trouble. With like previous purchases, like seasons of Simpsons that I purchased in HD, still only show up as like 720, or they don't show up as HD at all, even though like I have the HD ones. So it's kind of, I don't know. I still think they're updating some of the content to 1080 on there, so maybe as time goes on. But I have had a little issue re-downloading the higher definition formats of the old TV shows. I also want to make sure you check out on here, sorry, it's under audio and video, make sure it is, doing 1080 depending on your television, if it can support 1080. Mine here is doing a 1080 at 60 hertz, so the maxed out resolution that you can do, but you can also put it on auto, which it comes as, and should just pick that out for you. But that's pretty much it. Oh, Photostream. We now have Photostream on the new one, which you had on the old one if you had one of the developer previews or something of the software. But down here is Photostream. I don't know why it's all the way at the bottom, but you can simply sign in. You can use your same account as your other one, and it just imports all of your photos. So you don't even have to actually AirPlay them to your television. You can simply open up Photostream. You just put in your username and give it a few seconds here, because I do have a lot of photos and they are pretty big, but they'll all start popping in. And you can also use Photostream as your screensaver. So whatever screensaver, the floating ones or the origami, anything like that, you can actually use your actual photos for. So either way, it's a good update. If you have the old one, it's probably not necessary unless you really want 1080, but it's still a great product, and I still insist that everyone who owns an iOS product, an iPad, a Mac, iPhone, needs to have an Apple TV. It's like a mandatory accessory anymore. So please, if you don't have one already, go pick one of these up. If you have one of the old ones, see if you want it 1080. If it's not worth it to you, stay with your old one. You got a great product. Thanks a lot, guys. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll check you out next time.